What you seen, Olia? Welcome to the
Wait, what?
podcast. My name is Justin,
I'm Lauren.
and we're going to tell you a little bit about our lives. We're gonna give Olia a little rundown for the story, our story, for the viewers that are watching on whatever platform we post this on. I hope Olia enjoy this little session we're gonna do. For the people that are listening, I hope this is a little entertaining for Olia. If Olia in a car ride, if Olia like in work or something, cleaning, like if Olia just playing in the background.
Exercising.
Yeah. I hope this help Olia in some way any day. I don't know how listening to the story gonna help, but we're gonna share it anyways.
I feel like this is going to be a part 2 because this is such a long story. My background between everything and your background between everything.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent length, So
Yeah.
I think I could talk about it for an hour, but we don't want this podcast to be
we'll
an
be
hour.
excluding some things from this.
We are going to be as kind as possible telling this story.
Yeah, you could say it that way. So basically, I got the opportunity with the help of my parents to go to Regent University, a Christian university in Virginia Beach. I was the
Virginia Beach, Virginia. You gotta be specific.
Virginia, USA.
23464.
23464. That's the zip code. If anybody interested in going to Regent, you will see that I am still a poster boy of that school.
Yes.
After
4 years, 5
4
years.
years, I've left
4
the school
years.
and they still use my face.
It's because he's brown. If we're being honest.
Yeah. It's basically because I'm brown. And they wanted some culture and they get culture. Yeah. And real people see me on the posters and thing when I was
always
in school.
send it. It's on literally, guys. My parents get ads with Justin's face on the TV.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
Crazy.
Like, I did one photo shoot in my very first month
by
at being in the
accident.
school. By accident. Right? They had one of my partners that was supposed to do it. He was black.
One of your partners.
Yeah. One of my fellas. My boys.
You have a partner?
No, one of my boys. My partners.
Your pal.
PADNA 'S. Partners.
Okay.
One of my partners, one of my boys, he was supposed to do it and he had to call out. So the other fella that I knew that was managing it, he called me and he was like, hey, we need somebody to fill this spot.
Right.
He actually didn't say fill the spot. He said, we have an opportunity to do a photo shoot if you're interested.
You didn't know till later.
I didn't know till later that I wasn't the first choice.
You were the fill-in.
Yeah, I was the fill-in.
That's crazy.
And
because you're like the cultural of culture, like
exactly. I was the filler person.
That's crazy.
And they used me for 4 years. I don't really mind, honestly. It helped me with networking with people on campus. And that's what I wanted to do on campus.
He was a very social person, I would say. Like,
yeah,
he got his energy from being social.
Yeah. I hate being in front of the camera, so it's kind of real weird. And for the viewers listening, we do have a video podcast happening at the same time. But I hate being in the spotlight. And when I went to school, I was already shifting out of that, to be honest. It was like 6 months of me kind of getting out there and like meeting people, networking and stuff in Trinidad. And then I moved to the US for school, and I had never seen the school before. I never visited the school, nothing like that. It was my first time stepping on campus in that first week. And from that moment, I was just like, I'm going to meet people.
Right.
I visited the US growing up, and I didn't know what type of culture shock I would experience. I didn't think it would be as much of a culture shock as I did experience, which you will hear later on.
Right.
But it was a decision to network, and it was a good decision because it felt like I enjoyed my time because I had people that I was already friends with after like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Very personable and whatnot. People are very nice and stuff. And that really just pulled me through school.
Right.
So yeah, I joined Regent and whatnot. School in the US.
When did you know you were going to Regent? Like 2020, like right before you left 2022, or like the year before, like 2021?
No, the year before. I had to apply the year before.
Right.
So 2021, we had to apply.
And when did you like get like your parents were like, this is a school that we think you should go to, and you started applying?
The story I have in my head from what I understood from them was that it was once they saw the school.
That was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
And when was that?
I think it was 2021. Yeah.
Okay. So like shortly after you applied.
Yeah. This was coming straight out of COVID and whatnot. And I wanted to go to some other schools for film, but the options that was available to me was Regent. So that's basically my background with story time with going to Regent, how I reached in the US. for school.
I went to Regent because I've always been in Texas. I've always been a Texas girl, and
Right.
you can never take you can take the girl out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of the girl, you know?
Yeah, I hear that plenty.
And so I decided that college was the best time for me to travel.
Right.
Best time for me to move out of the state. See if I don't want to be in Texas anymore. And just like get a new environment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked Regent. It was my top option, and that was that. I mean, I kind of had a choice. I applied to Dallas Baptist University. That's in Dallas.
Right.
And then Regent. But Regent was my go-to. It was in Virginia. I got the seasons. That was part of it. I wanted summer, winter, and fall and spring. Because in Texas, we get...
Snow.
No.
Sorry. You
Heat
didn't say
and
snow.
ice.
You didn't say... Oh, yeah, you said winter. Sorry. Yeah, you get heat
so
and ice.
I wanted some like real like change of the weathers. Also, I'm a big Gilmore Girls fan, and that's in Connecticut.
Yeah.
But it's close enough that like I wanted to have a Rory University, you know?
Right.
So you probably don't understand. But shout out to those who do
I kind of understand because you made me watch a few of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So
she went to Regent. I went to Regent. We both met each other in school before knowing we met each other. Funnily enough.
we did.
Remember, we didn't have a face-to-face interaction.
You're right.
Yeah.
I hated this guy.
Yeah.
I despised him with my whole heart. He pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, and we didn't even know each other. Like we didn't know each other, and I pissed you off somehow. Like,
so bad, you guys. Like
yeah, and look at it now, fast track. So basically, we can tell all these story times from school yet. We just telling our story.
But you do have to tell that one trip you had with your boys that started this whole thing.
One trip I had
when
with
you
the
went
boys.
skating.
Oh yeah, boy.
That's the start of everything, technically.
I'm so sorry for the people listening to this on the audio podcast
Oh,
because
yeah.
we so back and forth. All they probably
Being
can't even
quiet
follow.
and then screaming.
Exactly, yeah. All they can't even follow. All their volume can't even level properly. Like hopefully, all they
Y'all's
enjoying
eardrums
this.
are okay.
Yeah, I feel like the Trainees might be following, but the Americans wouldn't be following nothing. They can say, wait, and you just telling the story how you're reaching this party and in this part, you know? That's what they're gonna say. All right, our story. So we both end up at Regent together.
Right.
And within the first few weeks of classes, we ended up having the same class together, and we didn't know. We didn't know each other.
I was gonna say it was a huge, a huge class. Literally, all of the freshmen.
Yeah.
Were in this class. It was in our chapel because we went to a Christian school, and so it was just like so many people.
Yeah.
So I sat on the side, like away from everybody, because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was kind of an introvert.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a huge class.
It was, I think when our class started, they claimed that it was the largest class of its time. And then since then, it's gotten bigger and bigger, the school, because the school is growing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we sat down. I had already met a few friends. One of them was Jamie. She talked about her earlier. And next one was my boy Josh.
Shout out Josh. And
then Sierra.
Shout out Sierra, bro.
That was the main
our main
people
core.
Yeah.
Well, your main core. I kind of just joined in.
Yeah. I was that was the main four right there that accept me as a Trinidadian coming to the school.
Right.
We're just introducing characters right now.
I know.
I'll tell them the whole story about how everything happened.
Well, I was gonna say I knew Sierra before you knew Sierra.
Yes,
did you
that's
know
true.
that?
Yeah, because
So
you all
we
went
had-
to the
We
thing
had
together.
welcome week or
Right.
preview weekend or something like that, and she was on my team. We were on the pink team, and one day she didn't show up, and I have this vague memory of being like, I heard Sierra's sick, so she's staying home. But it was that Sierra, but I didn't clock two and
Click
two
it.
together until
After.
a year into our friendship, and Sierra's like, hey, do you remember when we did this together? And I was like, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, she knew
It was
Sierra
during-
before me.
It wasn't during welcome week. It was during college preview weekend.
Right,
So this was the whole
right.
summer before we went to school, or that summer before we went to school.
Yeah.
Before you were even in
That's
the
even
States.
before. Yeah, that's before I was there. So Josh introduced me. I met Josh. Josh and I clicked it off from day one, like literally day one. If you want to describe what day one is what me and Josh had. Like we basically become best buddies.
Right then and there.
Right then and there, literally. And that's the people I connect with the most.
Right.
Especially with it being in the first week. Plenty of people kind of give me some bad impressions and things, but I'll get hear more about that.
Right.
So fast track now, school start. We had like 2 weeks of like orientation and whatever, welcoming and
Yeah.
stuff. And then school start right at the end of August.
Hmm.
So we had this class together. And Jamie and I went to class. I went to
It was
class.
an 8 a.m., by
Yeah,
the way.
8 a.m. class. Now, for the people that know me, all they know I don't wake up early in the morning for nothing unless I have production to do. I had to wake up, change my schedule from being up in the nighttime to waking up 8 in the morning. Well, I had to wake up at 7 in the morning to get ready to go. Right? I'll get here about the dorm situation and thing that's not too.
Yeah.
But I went to that class on time. It was the first class. I was excited about it. And
He was excited about it. I was taking it seriously. I was so like, okay, I'm gonna get an A in this class. I'm gonna do my best. Like I'm gonna be a top student. And he was like, da 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 da, going to class.
yeah, not exactly. So I was an A student. I'm gonna put that out there. I was an A student all through school until I
Right,
reached a
but
certain
I
grade.
wasn't in high school. In high
Right.
school, I was an A/B student, so I was determined to get all A's in my classes. So I was taking this
Right.
class so seriously. Like,
Yeah,
so
Well,
it
I-
shouldn't have been that serious either because it was such an easy class.
yeah.
But I was
didn't.
taking it.
I didn't know what to expect. So I
Right.
was like, "This is one of my first classes here.
Right.
I'm gonna see what it is." It was an intro class as well that the school offered, and we had to take it, the mandatory class. And we get into the building, and we went to sit on the same left side that she sat down on, and we didn't even know. We didn't even know that she was sitting right in front of
And
us.
him and Jamie were buddy. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Buddy. So I'm sitting in class, right? And I'm trying to listen to this old man talk. No offense to any of the professors at Regent University.
He was old.
He was an old man, and it was monotone and kind of slow. So it was just hard to pay attention. And he was talking theological things, which
Yeah.
is already hard for me to grasp. So with his slow monotone voice, I was like, I'm so tired, yawn, but I have to focus. I got to get all A's.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here trying to listen, and all I hear in the back is, stop it, no. And I'm like, what is going on behind me right now? I was like, these people are so annoying. Why? And at this point, I had an unassigned assigned seat. I couldn't give that up. But like, it
Wait,
was
what? On a assigned seat?
yeah.
Oh, wait, claim a seat that you
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have
it's-
to
yeah.
sit down in all the time?
Yeah, but
Right.
it's not assigned.
Right, that's your seat for the rest of the semester because
Yeah,
you sit down there.
correct.
Right.
So that was
Yeah.
I was so annoyed, and I had no idea who this kid was. I just knew, I was like, this is the first week of school. These two people behind me are in love with each other, and they're being all giggly, and I can't do it. This is so annoying. And I remember calling my mom after that first class and be like, yeah, there were these two annoying kids behind me, and they were just like laughing the whole class. They weren't even paying attention. Because guys, if you don't know, in college, you jump right into everything. There's
Yeah.
no like
Yeah.
introduction, like, hi, I'm Lauren.
Yeah, it
I'm
went
from blah, blah, blah.
straight in.
So I'm taking notes, Yeah, and I remember calling my mom and complaining to her about these two kids that are behind me just yapping away in love, just like the first week of school, they just met and they're in love. And so they're going to sit next to each other and giggle the whole time.
Yeah. So, for those of y'all that don't know, Christian universities have the stigma that if two people talking, like they're gonna have spring before
Ring before
ring
spring.
before spring, like they're gonna get together in our first year and
Right.
like powering on it one time in our first year while they're still in school.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is, right?
And it's typically your first year of school, your first,
Yeah.
like your freshman year.
Yeah, typically. So I fell into that stigma because of how I was. But I was talking to plenty different girls. So I had nothing like lovey and stuff. Jamie was
Right.
just a good friend.
And she has a husband now, but a
Yeah,
long-term
yeah.
boyfriend. I didn't know anything about them. I just assumed.
That wasn't the case at all.
No.
Jamie and I was just real cool. Jamie understood me. Josh understood me.
Well, and it makes sense now, but then
Yeah.
it pissed me off. I was like, you guys pay attention in class. What are you doing?
I had to clarify for the people them so they can know.
Right.
Yeah, when I went there, I had this real people, when I get to know people after my first year, people that apparently knew me as the person on campus who was real all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
People real say I was a player. That wasn't the case. I was just very friendly with people and very like personable. Like
Right.
I was just getting to know people literally, right?
Right.
And it just happened to be that like plenty of people I talked to. While I had guy friends, I would be in the girls' dorms plenty, just hanging
He
out
was
with
the real
people.
flirtatious type.
Apparently.
He gave off the flirtatious type. But
Yeah.
do you have any memory of me during that time?
No,
Or
not
like you had
only
no
only the video.
care?
Only the
Yeah,
video.
he has this one video where it's my full head before we even met, literally 2 months before we met.
Yeah. Literally, before we met, I took this video in class.
Yeah.
And when we paused the video, it was like a quick glance. I could see the back of she head, and I knew
Yeah.
I know
And it's a
what
shirt
she
I
looked
have
like.
here with me today.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So-
she was in the video, so it was kind of crazy that we kind of met before we met, you know?
Yeah.
And she thought I was the most annoying person in the world.
So guys, get this. For a whole 2 months, I hated this kid. I
Yeah.
hated the kid behind me because he would always talk. And the days that he didn't show up, I was like, praise the Lord. I can actually, pay attention in class now.
We don't talk about the days I didn't show up. It might have something to do with editing and being up late and being up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every
Well,
morning.
you had a good amount of skips before you started getting points deducted. And
True.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it was fair. And some of them you had a cold and
Yeah. I was adjusting to the weather because I was there for so long. They
Right.
had pollen bombs and pollen season and all kind of different
Right.
things happening.
Well, something we didn't mention is Jamie was roommates with Sierra.
Yeah.
But they were also my next door neighbors,
Mhm.
which
The
I
same
didn't
hallway.
know.
One door next to them was Jamie and Sierra, and then Tita
And
and
we
her
can
roommates.
share this now because it's not like we lived there. They were in 208 and I was in 212.
Yeah.
210?
210.
210.
The numbers is even numbers
And
on one
then-
side, odd numbers on the next
And
side.
then he had another friend, 2 other friends on the other side of me in 212.
Yeah. 212 and then
So 208, 210, 212.
215 or 213 was Kali and
209. Oh, no, 211.
211. Yeah.
Because I was 10, they would have been 11, they would have been 12.
Kalia and somebody else.
Faith.
I
Faith.
basically Faith, yeah, both Faiths and Kalia.
Mm-hmm.
I basically was on her hall. I knew plenty of the girls inside of that
Right.
hall, basically.
And
Like,
he would go door to door all the time.
yeah, when I stop
every
in, I
day.
just stop in and say hi to people, you know? Like,
Right.
I was like, this is a new thing to me, dorm life, you know?
Right.
In the boys' dorms, I would do the same thing. I mainly knew the people on my hall. In the girls' dorms,
Which is weird. So how did you end up on, because you were on the second floor your first year.
yeah,
So how
Yeah.
did you end up on the second floor? Because of Jamie?
because of Jamie. Yeah.
Okay.
Before Jamie, in that first month in August, I used to know Eliza and they. We used to hang out for a little bit.
Right.
And
they're
that was on the third floor.
3, yeah.
Yeah, that was the third floor. So I knew some people on the third floor. I knew 1 or 2 people on the fourth floor, and then second floor I knew people. First floor I didn't really know too much people.
Second people, you knew a lot of people.
Yeah. Second floor I knew plenty of people. First floor people knew me. Some of the girls on that floor knew me, and when certain things happened and I started working with some of these people,
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, well, we knew you in your first year. We saw you on campus all the time and we thought you was a real hoe. Like,
Yeah.
we see you around and
That
we
was my
thought you were
first
just a player.
impression too.
On one side, people liked me and people cool and stuff. On the other side, people didn't understand me. People developed bias against me and stuff because they didn't understand how I talk. They didn't understand my language, my tone.
Right.
It was real confusing for them. And
Yeah.
people was like that. And then in the middle, it had people who was like, this man chill, but he's a player. And yeah, I had all kind of different things about me.
Yeah.
And when people actually sit down and get to know me, it was very different. Not to toot my horn or anything.
Right.
But as you can see, we got married and she thought I was the worst person in the world.
Well, for me, I didn't have any friends. I had 2 roommates because I was in a triple.
And I was in a triple as well with 2 other roommates. I will not name
Right.
them. Yeah.
And I was in a triple with this girl, Savannah, who turned out to be one of my best friends my freshman year.
Right.
I heavily relied on her for things and vice versa. And then I had another roommate. And her and I were really cool at the beginning.
Right.
We became really good friends. And I thought that this was going to be a great experience because she was younger than me. But those were my only friends. I didn't really have any other friends besides those girls and my bestie for the restie.
Oh, yes.
I met her my freshman year.
Yeah.
And at the
You
time,
did.
we were besties for the resties.
Yeah. At the
Her
time.
quote, not mine.
Right. Yeah, that was a real jokey one. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. That was a real jokey.
So those were the only people I knew. I didn't go out. I would go to class, come home. I got a job all by myself. First time being by myself in a different state. I'm 22 hours away from home. I know that's a lot more for
That's
you
a
than
lot
it was
more
for
for
me.
me. Yeah.
But, it was a
22
22
hours
hour
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her flight was about the same time it would take her to go there. It was the same time it would take from Miami to Trinidad.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I was an introvert. That was kind of my thing. Like,
I didn't know anyone, but
Oh,
our lives were very different in how we interact
right.
with people.
And at that time, I was going to bed by 8:30, 8:39,
Yeah.
10 for the latest. 10 was pushing it. Because I would go to class and I would go to work, and I would do all these things.
Yeah. She's not wrong. She used to do all
And
those
I
things
would
all the
sit
time.
down, guys. I would do all of my reading for school.
All the what?
Readings.
Readings. Okay. Yeah.
So like it would be like read 4 chapters before tomorrow, and I would sit
And
down
she
and
would
read
sit down and
4
read it.
chapters and take notes on it.
I probably, it had a few classes I did that for, but I look at the PowerPoints in class. I look at the slides. I
Right.
download everything. I just skim through
Well,
and I understand
And
things.
that was for every class.
Yeah.
Every class, including like our genie classes, which
Yeah.
like you don't really have to, you only have to do technically one of the readings to complete the homework that you have.
Yeah, kind of something like that.
And I would get ahead too. Like if I was home and I didn't have anything to do, I'd get ahead. Or I watch a movie with my roommates. I stayed in my dorm, went to bed by 9:30 latest, or 10 latest, 9:30 typically. And yeah. So 2 completely separate lives.
Yep, I was up until 4 or 5 in the morning hanging out with people. I would be up until that time, but I would still get up for classes occasionally, and I would still have time to hang out with people and study. And
And do your
I
homework.
situated my day differently.
Right.
Yeah, I would go on lower sleep at that point in time. I had a faster metabolism. I was smaller. I was younger. I was doing real plenty things, and I managed with it. That is just completely different lives to how we were when we first, before we even met, basically.
Yeah.
So now that's basically the story of getting to Regent.
So how everything got started, how you were introduced to my life.
Right.
That was with this event, the skating event.
Yeah.
That I had no idea about. I don't know how you guys found out about this. I had no idea about it.
I was, as I said, I was in plenty different friend groups. So I found out from a bunch of different people that they was having a skate park event kind of thing.
It was a roller
skating, yeah. And they invited me to go, and I knew some people on my hall went and whatnot.
Right.
And I had never done roller skating before. I did ice skating. I almost break my ankle about 4 times, and I do away with that. But roller skating was a different story. I was like, maybe I could do this. 4 wheels is better than a slicing thing that could cut up your hand. And I went to it. I got a ride. I watch now. Big up to everybody that gave me a ride when I was in school. Honestly, if one of y'all are listening, I am very, very thankful for the ride. The main person is Josh. So we went to this roller skating thing, and one of our roommates attended the roller skating thing. I think this was the second event that I went to, because I went to the first one when I first went to school, and the second one was closer to like September or something like that.
What was your experience there?
So I went to the roller skating park and whatnot. As soon as we reached, one of our roommates arrived, and the people that were with me knew the girl. So she came over and she said hi to them and whatnot, and they introduced me to her. Mm-hmm. We had a brief conversation, I would say. That's how I remember it. We had a brief conversation. It wasn't nothing lengthy. It was just a greeting, basically, introducing ourselves, because we both just started at the same school. Mm-hmm. So we had a little conversation, and then it was in a group setting with a bunch of different people.
Right.
It was about 4 or 5 of us, I think. Mm-hmm. And go in, enjoy ourselves in the park. We played some. I didn't know this. I didn't remember this until I saw the video.
The video, yeah.
I played
cornhole
with this girl, one of her roommates.
Beanbag toss.
Right, yeah. Whatever it is called. We played that game where you throw the beanbag and whatever, and reach in the hole.
There's 2 different names. I just didn't know which one's the Trini Woods know. The
Trinities would know. But to tell you how I didn't know anybody and how I didn't pay attention to those things, I was just making friends and whatnot. Right. I didn't remember like the people there until I saw the photos of the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like focused on any one person, right? I was there with friends, people I didn't know, and then getting to know people by playing games. Right. And her roommate was actually one of the people I played against in that beanbag toss. Yeah. So that whole night went by and whatever. That was it. I met so much people. I got to know plenty of people, and it wasn't any specific person that pointed out in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, my roommate came home to me and my other roommate, Savannah. She was like, "Oh my goodness, guys, I had the best night. I met this really cute guy, and I was sitting all by myself because I was just kind of tired, and he invited me to come play with him. And so, I think I'm really starting to like him. And we're like, "Oh, okay, but like you've only hung out one night." So, just to put it in perspective, this roommate was homeschooled her whole life. Savannah, my other roommate, she went to public school. So she
Yeah, she had a little more
knew.
interaction with people
Right.
and
And
stuff,
I
and
went
it's
to a
not
private school. So like
right.
she knew like the bad part of everything. I knew the medium, and this roommate didn't really know
Yeah,
much.
much. Yeah,
And I'm not saying that she was stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying socially
yeah,
there was some things that she needed to learn, and that's why she came to college.
yeah.
She came home and she told us that, and we're like, okay, well, why don't you like hang out with him a little bit longer and see if you actually really like him, or if this was just, you were having a little bit of attention from someone that you think is cute, because you can get that infatuation very easily.
Right.
So that was our perspective of that whole night.
Yeah, and I came to terms with the fact that maybe I was like, maybe I did act too friendly. I don't even know, and I am none the wiser. I just meet new people and I find out that they're on the same floor with my friends. This was like, let's call them my best friends, like Jamie and
Right.
C. She was literally in that room next to my friends, and I knew the room after them, and the
Right.
room opposite, and the room opposite the
Oh,
other
so
side.
we were right in the
So
middle of
yeah, it
all
was
of his
basically
friend
the end of the
groups.
hall. I know, like I knew about like 6 rooms at the end of that hall.
Well, and I remember being in our room and hearing you guys slam against the wall and being all loud
Yeah,
because Jamie and Sierra's room was right up against. They were in a studio, so it
yeah.
was literally just like
Is this two
right
beds in a
open.
small room?
The
Like
only
yeah,
door was the bathroom and the front door.
yeah, pretty much.
And
I would be inside at Jamie room all the time. We were just
yeah,
hanging out, and it wasn't just me and Jamie and Sierra. It was like 4 of us.
yeah,
Right, Josh was there as well,
Josh,
and then we
right?
would occasionally have different friends that Jamie knew,
Or
and that's how I got to know them.
Sierra's friend,
Or Sierra's friend, and
yeah,
then the ones at the end of the hall.
would come join. But we
Yeah.
always heard this ruckus, and we're like, they're so loud. And at this point, I didn't know that my next door neighbor was the girl from my class.
Yeah.
I didn't know that yet.
Yeah,
So
she didn't know that. And well, I continued going to my friend room, and as far as I remember, I don't know if I stopped in one time and met you.
at one
but I
point,
know I saw her outside in the hall.
yeah. So
that was the second interaction, I believe, or the third.
she was sitting in the hallway on the phone with her mom, and I guess she had gotten off the phone with her mom, and that was very normal for girls to be sitting in the hallway just talking on the phone.
That's something I didn't know. Like
Yeah.
my first like instinct was something is wrong. Like I need to like
Check up on her.
check up on this person. I just met this person,
Yeah.
so it's a familiar face. Even if it was an unfamiliar face, I would have just checked up on them,
Right.
because that's just like how we are,
Yeah.
At least that's how most people I know in Trinidad are.
Right.
You know?
So if like I was in the bedroom about to go to bed, my roommate Savannah would be at her desk doing homework, and she didn't want to disrupt either of us. So she would go out, my other roommate would go out in the hall and sit on the phone.
Yeah.
And so from our perspective, this roommate walks in and she's like, "Oh my goodness, you guys, like, Lauren, are you sleeping?" "Not yet. What's up?" She's like, "Oh my goodness, guys, you guys will never believe what just happened. That cute guy from the skating rink came and checked up on me. I was sitting in the hall talking to my mom, and that cute guy came to check up on me. I think he likes me too." And I was like, "Well, how did the conversation go?" She's like, "Well, he was asking me about my life and, my siblings and yada, yada, yada." And we were like, okay, like that's a start, kind of encouraging her because like this is exciting for her. But at the same time, trying to like drag her off of that ledge a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
and Tita didn't even know my face at that point.
No, I didn't know your name.
Yeah.
She didn't know your name.
Right. She didn't know my name.
Well, at this point she did, but she didn't say. But I remember her showing us a picture and zooming in on him from the skating thing and like, "This is him, isn't he cute?" And we're like, "Yeah, he's cute." Like, cool. But we don't want to be like, "Oh my God." Like, I didn't want to be like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute." Because at the time that, girl code, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
I never heard that part of it. I didn't know that she
Really?
showed you a picture.
Yeah, she zoomed in. I remember you're scrouched like this on your one knee with your like blonde hair, and your
Yeah.
arms are around like Jamie and Josh or someone, and Eliza is sitting right in front of you.
Oh, the group photo.
The group photo.
The group photo. Yeah. I know the
Yes.
group photo. Yeah.
But anyways, so that was like the second time I heard of you.
Yeah, and that's what she explained it to them. And from my perspective, I approached her. I was trying to be. This was, let me see. This was about a month into being at
Yeah,
school.
about.
And I had already had some bad interactions with people because they didn't, as I said, they didn't understand where I came from. They didn't understand how my mindset worked
Right.
because I was from a different culture.
Well, and
And
for the people that don't know this, Trinis can be very blunt.
yeah,
Like they're
direct. Like,
very direct, and sometimes the things they say can be taken offensively, but they either mean it as a joke or they're like, "Oh, sorry, like I didn't know that would be offensive. I was just
yeah.
trying to be honest."
And I had a few things that had happened already within that month, and it kind of had my motivation down about meeting people.
Right.
So I started tiptoeing a little bit more. So I approached her and I was like, I checked up on her just to see like if she's
Basically,
doing
like,
okay
"Hey,
and
are you
whatnot.
good?
'Cause
Why are you sitting in the hallway?"
exactly, yeah. Like I never saw anyone just sit down in a
Right.
corner in a hallway by themselves. And we were just taught about all these things about self-harm and check up on other people and make sure that like everyone okay. If you see something, say something.
Right.
That was one of the things they taught us.
Say something.
She says something. So I just checked up on the shield and I learned how to like interact with people a little more. So I
Right.
got down on her level and I kind of just like checked in by asking her like different questions to see where her mind was actually at in case she was just deflecting. Maybe it wasn't my place to do that. Maybe I shouldn't have done it that way, but that's what I thought was correct. And when she said she was cool and whatnot, it was probably about a 5-minute conversation, I think.
Right.
I went into my friend's room, which was right next to her room. That was it for that. And then
Yeah.
the next day, I think, or sometime in the week or something, when I visited Jamie and they, I was checking in on other friends.
Right.
And I checked the room opposite them. I checked the room 2 doors down from them. And I checked Tater's room.
Because
Just to say hi
he
to people.
remembered that
Yeah,
he
this
checked up
person
on
was
this
living there.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
My roommate would pull her pajama bottoms all the way up as high as they could go and have her shirt tucked into them. It was like she would just pull up her pants and didn't do anything about it. Her shirt would be tucked into her pants, right? So when Justin first knocked on the door, she like looked, because she was cooking in the kitchen, she looked at the people and was like, "Oh, like I gotta get decent."
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Guys, is it okay like if Justin comes in?" Because she like barely opened the door to be like, "Hey, like, what do you want?" Basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care. Like we're all dressed. We're not doing anything. We're just doing homework, whatever."
Yeah, by the way, I was respectful. Let me say that. I
Yeah.
always knocked on people's doors, whether it's boys or girls, I would knock on the door until I got to new people.
I was supposed to say until
Yeah.
we got really close with Jamie, and then you would do a knock and then just walk in.
Yeah, sometimes I just knock and walk in. But
Right.
it was a female's room, so I would always knock to see if I'm able to enter the room.
Right.
You know?
It was, yeah, he was never disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
But so she went and got, like, she let him in, went and got all dressed. I don't really remember a lot about that night. I just remember them hanging out and me thinking like, "Oh, this guy's actually pretty cool." Like, I don't know why I was hating on him so bad.
I think we all hung out.
Jamie didn't come over.
No, not Jamie. I came over to the room.
Yeah, and
I hung out with.
all four of us hung
met
out.
you
and
Savannah
and my other roommate.
and your other roommate.
Yeah.
And we just hung out. We just talked. I think, was that the night that I danced?
Yeah. This roommate was a dancer.
Right. And I was just making conversation with them. It was the first time meeting Tata and her other roommate.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is 2 more girls that I don't even know, like, and I don't want to awkwardly be in the room because, like, I'm not here to flirt or anything. I'm here to, like, interact and meet people.
Well, and at this point, I was in this toxic relationship. Like, it was so bad. And we're not going to go into much detail about that because that was an awful point in my life. But it was so bad that, like, I started feeling guilty. And it wasn't even a relationship. It was a situationship. But I started feeling guilty that I thought that Justin was cool. Also because my roommate had told us that, like, she thinks this guy is cute and, like, she wants to get to know him. Yeah. So after that day, it was I think it was that night. That night, Justin left, and I assume you went to another girl's dorm.
I went to Jamie's room.
And he was at our place for a good,
like an hour, I think.
Yeah, a good bit.
45 minutes hour.
Not the longest he's ever been there, but a good bit,
Yeah. It was my first time being in the room.
Right. And he was getting to know me and Savannah. And maybe we had more times than just one before she said this. Maybe you came back the next night.
Yeah, it might have had some other times. It's not memorable times for me because nothing's that, like,
happened.
stuck out. Yeah.
And at this point, like Savannah and I became pretty good friends with Justin. Like,
Yeah.
it was not like we could just be like, oh, you're never allowed to be back, because now we're friends with him. We were close. It wasn't like we had become friends.
Yeah. I became friends very quickly. Like,
Right.
as I said, I was personable.
And I was
friendly.
hearing a lot about C and Jamie and how they're right next door. And I was like, okay, like that's cool. You know, at least I know I have people. Like, at one point they borrowed my air mattress, which they never gave back to me. Actually,
For
they
like a
did. It was like
year.
a year, no, it was like 2 weeks. It wasn't like a year.
Okay.
It was like 2 weeks, but I had to ask for it back. Like, it was
Yeah.
bad. And it was a queen size. Anyways,
No. You didn't meet Jamie and Sarah up. Oh no, they came over to
They-
your room. Yes, but
just to grab the air mattress.
right, but you wouldn't. I think they asked about it, and I told them that you had an air mattress.
Yeah.
And they came over and got the air mattress
Right.
from you. So I had gotten to know you and both
My
of your
roommates,
roommates at the
right.
time.
So
And then she had a conversation with you all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she approached us like it was a couple times after hanging out. Like I said, we knew each other. Justin and I, and Savannah and Justin, you know, we all became friends. And she's like, you know what, guys? I was talking to my mom. She talked to her mom a lot. Her best friend was her mom.
That's not bad.
She had.
It's not a bad thing to say.
That's not what I was gonna say.
Oh.
She had to run everything by her mom. Not because it's like,
She was
oh,
more
it's my
dependent.
mom. Yeah, it was like,
Right.
oh, I need this reassurance, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So she was like, I was talking to my mom, and she brought up a good point that, like, Justin's asking me a lot of personal questions that, you know, I shouldn't be talking about with a boy until we're married. Or, like, until we're in a serious relationship. And I was like, oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah. She's like, that's what she said in y'all's conversation.
Really?
Yes. So, anyway.
I don't even remember that. That is like a mind-blowing thing to me.
So she was like, guys, I think I'm going to call him over and have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, why don't you think about it? Like, you've only hung out with him a couple of times. Like, like just alone a couple of times. Like, let's just take a beat. Let's think about it. You know, like, don't do anything rash. She's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'll think about it. Well, then the next morning, she literally went to bed. The next morning, she approached me and Savannah, and she was like, guys, I texted him. He's coming over tonight, and we're going to have a conversation.
No. That's not what happened.
Did she approach you?
No, I saw her. I think I saw her in the hall, or maybe she texted me. I don't think she texted me.
I think she texted you. Or she at least said, I decided.
No. She was like, we need to have a conversation. I was like, okay, what do you need to talk about? And she was like, she can't talk about it right now.
Yeah.
She made me wait like 3 days to have this conversation, by the way. And
so maybe it was 2 days later, and she's like, I told him that I need to have a conversation with him. And we're like,
yeah.
What? She's like, but it's not until tomorrow. And we're like,
no, she made me wait like 2 or 3 days, something like that. I remember that.
Right. She told you, and then that night, the next morning after we told her to wait,
yeah,
she went up to you and said, we need to talk.
Right.
And then, because it was only like 2 days after that we knew that she was having this conversation with you.
Right. So she basically said, we need to have this conversation, whatever. And I was like, what do you want to talk about? Like, everything okay and whatever. And she was like, well, I don't talk about it right now. We can talk about it at the end of the week.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, I was like, wait, what are you saying here?
And
I was so confused. And I was like, all right, no problem. And I went about my life. I literally went about my life.
So she was about 3.5 years.
17-ish, yeah.
She was 3.5 years younger than you.
Yeah.
So almost 4 years. So he had a lot more life in him.
Yeah,
than she did. And so we were like, roommate, this is not a great idea.
Yeah.
Not great at all. Like, this is going to end so badly. And like we're friends with him, so it's going to make everything so awkward.
Yeah.
And she's like,
mind you, I was completely oblivious to any of this. When she said she needs to talk, in my head, I have 10 other friends that I have to talk to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like when she said she had to wait a few days, the tone that she said it, or if she texted whoever, it was like, we need to talk.
Right.
When I responded and she was like, wait till whatever day, I was like, okay, no problem. Like, I just met you. We like had like 3 interactions ever. And
it was like 4 or 5, but only 2 personal.
Right.
No, only 1 personal, the one in the hallway.
Yeah, 1 personal interaction. And the next 2 times was group settings. You know what I mean? It wasn't just one person single-handedly being like, I want to talk to you.
Right.
No, I did that to you, but I didn't do that to her. You know what I'm saying? So
So
anyways, again, right up for this.
don't get heated.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
heated.
yeah, yeah. I'm not
But
getting heated. It's just like some people just dotish. I don't
for
think.
those who don't know,
No,
dotish.
don't explain it. Don't explain it. Because if they're listening to this conversation, they'll get all offended. You know what? I don't care if you explain it. They
That's
can
what
get
I'm
offended if they
saying.
want to. If we put this in the podcast, they can get offended. I do not care.
So
She was dotish, right? And she mother was dotish too for telling she to approach me. Literally.
okay.
Anyways, yeah, all right. All right. I'll stay quiet. I'll stay quiet.
Should I explain dotish? I feel like now that you
Dotish.
mentioned her mother, I can.
Um,
Dotish basically means being stupid.
no, not necessarily stupid. It's more the point in this context is more like she was not using her
Thinking
brain
straight
properly.
was
Yeah, she
being-
was not thinking straight. They read way too much into it.
Being
And-
stupid.
No,
Not using your brain fully is being stupid.
I didn't. They wasn't stupid, right? I'm just surprised that the mom told her that she told you all. The mom told her that she has to approach me
She
about
said,
this thing.
no, she said my mom brought up a good point.
But that's not even a point that should be made. If you're making friends, you just join university.
Right.
Obviously, everyone is having introductions.
But it's because you're a man. It's the next day. I am having anxiety because I know that she's having this conversation with a friend, that like a guy that's now my friend.
Well, barely a friend. Because I'd barely known you at that point.
But at that point, each time you came over, you were staying longer and longer.
Yeah. So you were getting to know me still.
Right.
So barely a friend.
I guess I considered him a friend before he considered me a friend, but whatever. Anyways, so she was like, okay, guys, my roommate was like, okay, guys, he's coming over tonight. Can you guys go into the bedroom so we can have some privacy? And we were like, sure. So Savannah and I went into our bedroom because it's like a bedroom and then a living room with a kitchen. And all three of us sleep in the bedroom and, you know, we have our free space in the living room. We're like, sure, but we think this is a really bad idea. So us being nosy, we were literally right up against the door like this, you know, ear to the door listening. And she's like, so I need to talk to you about something. This is from I don't know if you remember anything from this conversation.
I remember bits and pieces because it wasn't a serious conversation for me.
For her,
I
it
was completely oblivious. Literally the most oblivious person in the world.
Right. So she was like, listen.
Wait. We have to explain to them context. Like, I did not go to school trying to get a relationship. I went to school trying to get friends, network. Like, I'm in the film industry. I'm trying to network with as much people as possible. Because you never know what friend you meet that might have a certain career that could come in handy. If they ever need my services or I need their services, I can always contact them because it's better to use people in your network than just random people.
Correct.
You know? So that was my mindset. I was older than most people in my year.
Because you had a miss because of COVID.
Yeah. And I came in as end of sophomore year, basically.
Right.
So my second year because I did my degree in Trinidad and then I continued it in the US. So I wasn't a freshman. She was a freshman.
A freshman.
Yeah. She was a real freshman.
So she was like, listen, we need to have this talk. And he's like, okay, like what about? And she's like, I don't think that we should be talking about the things we're talking about. Or she said, what are we? And
like, she said, what are we?
And he's like, friends. And she's like, just friends? And he's like, yeah. She's like, well, then I don't think we should be having these conversations because they're a little too personal.
I don't remember that. But I remember the what are we? And I said friends. I was like, friends?
Like, what else would we be?
Yeah, exactly.
And so Savannah and I have this picture saved on Snapchat memories somewhere of me and Savannah just like ear up to the door, you know, selfieing it out.
I didn't know they were inside the room either. Because the door was closed and I didn't go into the girl's bedroom itself. I was just in the living room area, the common area basically. Right. So I thought they were out of the room, you know?
And so she was like, you know, like, I just think that we should be just friends and we shouldn't be talking the way we're talking. And Justin's like, okay, like, I don't know how, like, how are you supposed to talk to someone without asking them about their family?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
how are you supposed to get to know somebody, you know?
And so like she didn't like that he was asking about her mom and her dad and what they did or how many siblings she had or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like I said before, at this point, me and Savannah and Justin, we were friends. We all became close. Like not like super close, but like close enough where we didn't want to not hang out with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was just really awkward. So Justin left and like we had a debrief. She's like, I was so nervous. And we're like, I mean, you did okay. Like trying to be supportive because we were still friends.
With
Me and Savannah were still
yeah.
friends with this roommate
Oh, you're right with her, yeah.
and friends with Justin. And so it was just
It was weird, I will say. Like,
very weird.
from my perspective, I never looked back on that night
Right.
at that point in time and was like, this girl thought something else.
Well,
You know?
right.
I don't know what gave her the impression. Now that I know what you all said in the background about what she was saying, now I know. But at that point, there was nothing out of the ordinary, you know?
Right.
I feel like if you talk to and interact with someone, like getting to know someone, there's basic introductory things that you ask them just to get that conversation flowing. You know,
Right.
my questions to most people were based around culture, family upbringing, things like that. And that
Right.
was the generic standard for the most part. People that I hit it
Correct,
off with,
yeah.
we talk about deeper conversations. But to me,
Right.
family wasn't a deep thing. Family was like a generic like intro, you know?
For us, the family is a generic intro. Unless there's something that happened in your life, you don't press it.
Right.
Like it's just like, how many siblings do you have? Oh,
Yeah.
what do your parents do?
And
Like,
that's what
oh,
everybody was asking. Like the
Right.
people that I knew, everyone was asking the same questions. So I
Right.
kind of picked up off of what people were saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me not get myself into trouble about asking all kind of different things.
Right.
I'm going to ask things that people have been asking me and see if that works for interacting with people.
Yeah.
You know? So that's basically the events that led up to us meeting.
How
Because
our small circles kind of like intertwined. Yeah.
And
So-
that's how we actually got to know each other in the first part, I should
Right.
say. Yeah. The next side of the story is
It's
way more dramatic.
crazy.
Way more dramatic.
Crazy.
And it's like all kind of extravagant things that happen, all kind of situations that occurred.
no, say that word.
Extravagant.
No, you were gonna say something else.
All kind of bacchanal. yeah. All kind of bacchanal happen, all yeah.
Which means drama.
Yeah, all kind of bacchanal happen when we get past this point
Yeah.
in the story. That's basically we got to school,
Yeah.
how things unfolded, our mindset into how we thought at school.
Yeah.
And that's just a little piece of it, a little piece of the 2.5 months of starting at school.
Beforehand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before actually like
Getting
to us
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
That's like the pre-trial to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more, come back for the next episode.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or whatever video platform we post this to, Spotify, Apple
Spotify,
Music,
yeah, wherever
Apple
we
Podcasts,
release it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope there was enough
description.
context. But yeah,
That's basically the pre-trial to our story.
comment down below what you were doing if you were listening to it,
Yeah,
Audibly.
Let us know what you want to hear.
or if
Let
it
us know.
helped with your chores or work or whatever you had to get done. Let
Yeah,
us know.
Let us know. Keep us informed, criticize us, let us know everything. Like,
Every
we want
little
to-
detail.
We want to know this is a fresh start for us
Right.
with these kind of things. As I said at the intro, this is the
Wait, what?
podcast, and my name is Justin.
And I'm Tater.
And that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Tune in next time for the rest of the drama that unfolds.